Fallout New Vegas is my favorite video game of all time, and I am not alone when I say that. New Vegas is one of the most beloved video games of all time, and has one of the most dedicated fan bases out there, and this is for good reason. The game has one of the most thought-provoking narratives ever written in not just video games, but all forms of modern media. The game also offers near absolute player freedom to the point where both kill everything and no kill runs are absolutely possible. But despite all the positives, there is always negatives. These range from the unforgivably broken state the game shipped in, and still is to this day, to the terrible gunplay that is ever present throughout the entirety of the game. These, however, are not directly the developer's fault. Bethesda gave Obsidian only 18 months to develop New Vegas. For perspective, Bethesda had been working full-time on Fallout 3 for 4 years before they released it. Bethesda wanted Obsidian to make a similar game in under half the time. While it isn't fair to directly compare the development times of Fallout 3 and New Vegas did reuse a lot of Fallout 3's assets. It does shed some light on what Obsidian was asked to do. But even with the tight development schedule, Obsidian blew it out of the park. It was buggy as hell, and there was a shocking amount of cut content, but New Vegas was still one of the best RPGs of all time. But this begs the question, what would happen if Obsidian didn't need to cut out so much content? What if Bethesda had given Obsidian a full 4 years to develop New Vegas, like they themselves had with Fallout 3? Would New Vegas have been a better game for it? While there is no way to know for sure, my opinion is no. I do not think New Vegas would have been a better game with more development time. Well, yes, the game would have had better gunplay and would have been more stable. I think it would have come at the cost of the game as a whole, and I will explain why. There is a myth in society that deadlines are terrible for creativity. This, however, is contrary to almost all evidence on the subject. In fact, one of the most common pieces of advice on how to be more productive is to set realistic deadlines for yourself. In particular, tight deadlines can do wonders for people. An example of this is the ironically named book, The Gambler by Dostoevsky. The Gambler is a book that was written in under a month for Dostoevsky to pay his own gambling debts. Despite this, however, the book to this day is seen as a masterpiece. The fact that he had such a strict deadline forced him to be candid with his writing. The book was a fictionalized reflection of his life and experiences, and because of that, there is some indescribable element to his book that makes it stick with you long after you read it. The same can also be said about New Vegas. What the Obsidian staff were doing during the development in New Vegas doesn't seem so dissimilar to what Dostoevsky was doing when he was writing The Gambler. They were under an extremely tight schedule, and this likely forced them into a similar mindset. They both lived and breathed their respective works. The characters in New Vegas must have been ever present in the minds of the creators for months on end as they desperately tried to reach their hard deadline. The characters in the world feel real because to their developers, they were real. This is the benefit of a deadline. It is the beauty of knowing that if you don't create something amazing before a certain point, you don't get to eat. It is why many artists lose something when they make it big. The struggling and the grind is part of the creative process for some people. While I don't think New Vegas would have been a bad game if it had more development time, I do think it would have lost the magic that it currently has. The world wouldn't have felt as real as it does now. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. My Twitter is @MattBenz99, and until next time, thanks for watching.